In today's session, we will study static circuit breakers. Before studying static circuit breakers, we must know what is the meaning of circuit breaker. So, circuit breaker is a device which will turn on or turn off the load, or it will make or break the circuit. It is basically a switch under some given condition such as overload or short circuit, etc. So static circuit breakers are of two types. First, static DC circuit breaker, and second, static AC circuit breaker. So we will discuss each circuit breaker one by one. Static DC circuit breaker. This is the circuit diagram for DC circuit breaker. Let us have a look about the components which are used in the DC circuit breaker. So as the name suggests, DC circuit breaker means the circuit is utilizing the input as a DC supply. Here input is a DC supply, the load is operated on a DC supply. So here we can observe that if inductive load is used, then we require a freewheeling diode to be connected in parallel with the load. The circuit has two SCRs, SCR1, SCR2. We have push button switches to start and stop the operation. We have three diodes, diode D1, D2, D3. We have four resistors, resistor R1, which is connected to the which is connected to the cathode of SCR1. The switches are used to apply the triggering pulses to the SCR. Start switch is connected to the gate of SCR1 so that the triggering pulse is applied to the SCR1. The series diode connections is connected to the gate of SCR2 so that triggering pulses can be given. Now we will discuss the working of this circuit diagram, how the DC circuit breaker works. So if we take a close look on this circuit, so basically it is a parallel capacitor commutated circuit, means it is class C commutation. Here this parallel capacitor is used to commute the SCRs. SCR1 receives the gate current through R3 when a start button is momentarily depressed and the device starts conducting. So what is the function of this switch and this R3 resistor? It will provide the gate pulses to the SCR. So as soon as we are applying the triggering pulses to the SCR1, the SCR will start conducting. SCR1 will start conducting. Now as the SCR turns on, the DC load which is connected, so it is connected to the DC supply, means as soon as the SCR turns on, this DC supply connects the load and hence the power is delivered to the load. So I will highlight what happens before SCR1 is triggered and after SCR1 is triggered. So before this SCR is not having any triggering pulse, so it is acting as a open switch. This is acting as a open switch. But as we are pressing this start button, the gate pulses are applied to the SCR1, and as the gate pulses are applied, the SCR acts as a closed switch. It turns on and the DC supply is now connected to the load and the current flows like this. The current will start flowing to the load, to the SCR, and it will flow wherever there are circuit connections. So as we can see here, the green arrows, once the SCR is turned on by giving the triggering pulses, the DC supply is appeared across the load and the load is connected, and hence the power is delivered to the load. The capacitor C, the capacitor C gets charged to the load voltage with the right hand side plate positive as shown in this figure. It charges, but for its charging, it requires some series resistor. So this capacitor charges through the resistor R4. So this capacitor C is charging through this resistor R4. And when the capacitor is charging, its right plate is more positive than its left plate because it is charging through the series resistor R4. The voltage across the capacitor is equivalent to the load voltage. So here voltage across capacitor, say VC, is equals to voltage across load. We can say approximately equal to. Now we can say why this capacitor is not charging directly through the load. The answer is very simple. Prior to the turning on of this SCR, the loop was from, when this is off, the whole of the supply is coming across the capacitor, and hence the capacitor was charging because of this series resistor. So this SCR was off, means this whole circuit was not in the picture. Hence the capacitor was charging from the resistor R4. As soon as this stop button is pressed, it will switch off the load. Then if this switches off the load, then the SCR2 receives the gate current through resistor R5 and it is turned on. It means that whenever I am pressing the switch, whenever I am pressing, okay, the gate current SCR2 receives the gate current through resistor R5. This is resistor R5. And when the SCR2 is triggered through the gate current, it will turn on. Means this will act as a short circuit. As the SCR is turned on, it acts as a short circuit and it causes the charged capacitor C to place across the conducting SCR1. Now the capacitor C applies a reverse bias for SCR1 and it starts discharging. So once the capacitor is fully charged to the load voltage, the polarities will be the right hand side plate will be positive and the left hand plate will be negative. So the left hand plate, negative plate, is now connected to the anode of this SCR1. So if negative is applied across the anode plate, then this SCR1 gets reverse bias, and if it is getting reverse bias, then it will turn off. So again, because of this capacitor, the SCR is off. Due to this, the load current is continued through C and SCR2. So how the load current will flow now? The load current is flowing in this loop. Back. Means this portion is totally bypassed. The capacitor C gets fully discharged and then it charges to the reverse polarity to the supply voltage. It is reverse charging. Means this plate is now positive and this plate is now negative. As the polarity of the capacitor reverses, the load current at this instant falls to 0. Means we can say that when capacitor voltage, when capacitor, a voltage across the capacitor is negative, then we can say that load current, say IL, is equals to 0. Now as the load current was previously flowing through SCR, now this load current, as it is fallen to 0, means the value of load current which is flowing through the SCR2 has been reduced to 0, and if the load current is reduced to 0, means its value is below the holding current value, and hence the SCR2 is now turned off. So here we have to notice one thing, that the SCR1 was off because the capacitor's negative voltage was applied across the anode. So the capacitor's negative voltage was reverse biasing the SCR1 and hence it was turned off. Now why the SCR2 is off? SCR2 is off because the load current is getting 0. And when the load current is getting 0 and this load current is flowing through this SCR2, so once the load current means the current flowing through SCR is 0, means it is off. If no current is flowing means SCR2 is off. Thus, manual firing of SCR2 by pressing the stop button interrupts the load current through the SCR1 and finally opens the circuit. So what we have to do? We have to manually press this button. You have to manually press this stop button so that the load current through SCR1 is interrupted and finally opens the circuit. Under overload condition, the current, that is the load current, can be automatically interrupted. Now let us suppose that SCR1 is on and carrying the load current. Considering that SCR1 is carrying the load current, if overload occurs, the voltage across resistor R1 exceeds the forward voltage drop of the string of the series connected diodes and the gate to cathode junction. So what happens? If the overload occurs, the voltage across R1 exceeds the forward voltage drop of the string of series diodes and the gate cathode junction. Means what? If overload occurs, the voltage across R1, D1, D2, D3, this increases. So the gate current is therefore supplied to the SCR2 and it is turned on. The turning on of SCR2 results in turning off of SCR1 immediately due to the capacitor voltage, and the load is switched off from the circuit. So once the SCR1 is switched off, means the load is switched off from the circuit. So this is complementary switching action. If SCR2 is on, SCR1 is off. Because of this complementary switching action, the load gets switched off from the circuit. The circuit can be made to trip automatically by adjusting the values of R1 and by the proper selection of the number of the series diodes D1, D2, D3 and so on, and interrupt the overload or fault current at any predetermined level. So for proper turning off or for proper breaking of this circuit, of the DC circuit, if the values of R1, D1, D2, D3 and so on are selected, the circuit can be turned off automatically. So what is happening during the over voltage? So during the over voltage or overload, okay, during the over voltage or overload, the capacitor, this capacitor's voltage turns off the SCR, and when the SCR1 is turned off, the load is automatically gets disconnected. Now how the capacitor gets reverse polarity? So first we should understand that to get this reverse polarity, the SCR2 must be turned on. How the SCR2 is turned on? So once there is overload, this overload will increase the voltage across R1, D1, D2, D3, and this voltage increases the gate voltage. This gate voltage triggers the SCR2. Once the SCRT2 is triggered, capacitor is discharging, and because the capacitor is discharging, the capacitor's left hand plate will get a negative charge. Because of this negative charge, the SCR1 is reverse bias, and once the SCR1 is reverse bias, the load gets disconnected. So using this arrow marks, I am trying to tell you that during the overload, okay, as there is overload, this overload voltage will appear across the resistor R1, D1, D2, D3. So this voltage at this point is triggering the SCR2. So once the SCR2 is triggered, means the current is flowing like this. Okay. Now as the SCR2 is triggered, the capacitor left hand plate is having the negative potential. So this capacitor voltage, which is negative, is applied across the anode of SCR1, and once negative voltage is applied across the anode of SCR1, the SCR1 gets reverse bias and it will get turned off. So the action is cumulative. First, what is happening? Because of the overload, the voltage across R1 is increasing. The voltage across R1 increases, the voltage across this point across resistor R2. This is connected to the gate of SCR2. Once the SCR2 is triggered, it will turn on. Once it is turned on, the capacitor's negative voltage is appearing across the SCR's anode. This negative voltage across SCR1 turns the SCR1 off. So as this SCR2 is on, SCR1 is off, and once the SCR1 is off, the load gets disconnected. So this is how the static DC circuit breaker works. Thank you very much.